And we're going to start out with a blanket roll for the neck. So if you grab your blanket, if you have like the standard size yoga blanket, you'll just take it from the old storage fold and we'll roll it up the long way. But you want to have something that's, I don't know, about the size of a foam roller, maybe a little bit smaller. And you're going to place that, good morning, you're going to place that right behind your neck. So it should be big enough that it lifts the head up a bit. It really feels that whole curve of the cervical spine. And then set your legs up in constructive rest. So that would be knees bent, feet on the floor. And you'll play with the position of the feet so that your hips can truly rest. So you want to be positioned in a way where the muscles around the hip joint and the muscles of the thighs don't have to work so hard to keep your legs in place. You want those muscles to all be able to relax. And begin to let your attention settle into the back side of the body. So you can feel the imprint of your feet on the floor, the back of the hips. Notice where the arms touch down, middle and upper back, and then really tune into the neck on the blanket. Can you let the blanket hold your neck? And as the blanket starts to take over any of the work that the neck was doing, let the weight of your head be nice and heavy. Feel into the bones of your neck. And imagine that with your attention, you could gently press each bone into the blanket. As if you were pushing a small stone into clay or into mud. Just letting them sink right down. And then walk your feet out, mat width apart. Turn the toes out slightly. We'll take a long breath in through the nose. And then at the pace of your exhale, take your knees off to the left. And at the pace of your inhale, bring the knees back through center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. We'll do that a few more times, noticing how your imprint changes on the ground as you move. Noticing the range of motion in your hip joints, or maybe the lack of the range of motion in your hip joints. And the next time your knees come to the right, stay there. And start to actively reach your left thigh bone forward towards the front right corner of your mat. So the inner knee almost reaches forward and down. And as you reach in that direction, can you imagine your left thigh bone spiraling inward? So it's just kind of corkscrewing out towards the front right corner of the mat. The inner edge of your left foot will press down. And then you might take your right foot and bring it on top of the left thigh, just to give that a little bit of weight. So your right foot can press down into the thigh, and your thigh might gently resist up. And that connection might help with this forward reach of the thigh. You could take your left arm up alongside the ear if you like. What does it feel like to breathe here? So in each pose, in each position that we take, there'll be kind of a dominant sensation. There's one part of your body that's calling out to you. And so you start to have a conversation with that part of your body, with your breath, with your attention, and maybe even verbally inside your head with actual words like, okay, I hear you. You don't have to hold on so tight right now. And that attention, that breath might start to create a sense of trust in that part of your body. Like, okay, I'm safe, I'm seen. Follow your breath down to the next bottom of your next exhale, and then your inhale will bring your knees back through center. Make sure your feet are still mat width apart, toes out. Next exhale, take the knees off to the left. And that right thigh bone begins its journey forward and down towards the front left corner of your mat. And it might be mostly in your attention, but could you imagine your right thigh bone spiraling inward towards the floor as it reaches forward? And that inward spiral kind of picks up all the tissue from that outer right hip, from that right waist. It starts to drag it forward. Maybe the right arm comes up alongside the right ear. Maybe the foot stacks. And is there an internal dialogue with your body? Usually, the parts of us that are tight, that are holding on, that are cranky, are that way because they were protecting us at some point from something. So that internal dialogue that you're having might start out with just a thank you. You're going to follow your next breath to the very bottom of your exhale, and then knees back through center. And you can keep this blanket under your head for this whole beginning part of practice here. Hug the knees into the chest. And you're going to keep the right knee. Your left foot can either come to the floor, or you could extend the left leg out. And we're going to reach up for the outside edge of your right foot for a half happy baby. You can't reach the foot, you're holding back of thigh, or you could use the strap. So your right foot is vertical over your right knee, and you're drawing that all down towards the floor. If your left leg is extended, it's reaching forward. And then you begin that conversation through your breath, through your attention with whatever's calling out to you. And then you can hold on to the right big toe or use your strap, and we'll send the right leg straight up towards the ceiling. So your right foot is going to be vertical over your right hip. That might mean that the knee has to be bent. And so if the back of the leg is short and the knee is bent, your work will be just, how can I press my foot towards the ceiling, any amount. If your leg is straight with the foot vertical over the hip, then you can start to bring the foot in towards your chest. But the leg is actively trying to grow longer towards the ceiling. And as your hand or your strap pulls your foot back, your leg can also resist that forward just a little bit so that the whole back line of that leg is active, is awake. So as you pour your attention into the back of the leg, as you start to try to convince your leg that it's safe, that it's in a place where it's okay to let go a little bit, if you, at the same time as you pay attention to the back of the right leg, if you feel into something else that feels really relaxed, maybe it's kind of twin area on your left leg, sometimes that will teach the part of you that's really tight or really cranky that there's a possibility of being able to let go. And that's something that I started playing around with in Fez's meditation classes. And if you haven't joined Fez for any of his meditation sessions, they're so wonderful. He does a Wednesday noon and typically a Sunday 5 to 6:30 p.m. So good. Taking your strap in your left hand, let's just take your right leg slightly off center to the left. So keeping your right hip still grounded, but you're just moving your leg a couple of inches to the left. And if your right hip started to hike up towards the rib cage, can you lengthen the outer right hip along the floor away from you? And usually this, for me, is when the conversation starts to get really loud for my legs. So how do you stay calm to keep things from escalating? You know, when you're in an argument with someone and if they start shouting and then you start shouting, then all the shouting just gets louder. So to keep things kind of de-escalated, can you breathe in a way that keeps you calm so you can be a better listener? And then we'll take the leg all the way off to the left. So then you can let your right hip lift up. Take the leg all the way over. Take your right arm out to the right. And all of your limbs just reaching out as long as they can go. About how long your left leg can extend forward down your mat. Just try to take up a lot of space. Claiming all this space with your limbs, and then also, can you start to get the breath a little bit longer to take up space inside your rib cage? So feeling your side ribs spread out, getting some breath into your back ribs. And then on an inhale, come back through the center. Constructive rest. From the knees. And keeping that left knee, the right foot could just come down or it can reach forward. And then we'll take half happy baby on the left side. So you're working to keep that foot vertical over the knee. And then strap it up, reach it up, left leg towards the ceiling. And the muscles of your leg are you're actively participating in this upward reach. So you're not just trying to pull to stretch your leg longer, but your leg is growing up. And that makes a difference, at least for me, when the sensation in the leg really changes with that action. And then take your legs slightly off center to the right. So we intentionally create this little bit of discomfort because it gives us a moment to practice how do we deal with that? How do we be when we're uncomfortable? As if we haven't had so many moments to practice that just in real life over the last couple of weeks, but this is a safer place. And then we'll take the leg all the way over. And so when we kind of approach this practice like a conversation with all the parts of us that are needing that attention, needing that that care, we're less likely to just kind of plow through the discomfort in a way that just kind of blows by it or makes it worse. And so we're practicing with ahimsa, which is the first of the moral guidelines outlined in the Yoga Sutra, that non-harming, that non-violence. I think most of us, like, non-violence is like a really easy thing to get on board with. Like, of course, we're not gonna, physically hurt anybody else. And then like the subtler pieces of it are what's more challenging. Like, how do we practice that in the way that we speak to ourselves inside our heads? How do we practice that in the way we interact with people that we don't agree with? How do we practice that in all of the ways that we try to bring, all of our unconscious bias to the surface so that we do less harm? And this is our work, and this is something I've been thinking about a lot this week. I watched the debate. I went out and voted, and then my work in practicing this non-harming internally, externally, is going to be my work regardless of what the outcome is. You can bring your leg back through center. And that's a big piece of yoga too, is knowing that we have work to do that is not dependent on its outcome. So we just stay the course, we do our work, and we try not to get too attached, although I know that's not, certainly not easy right now with everything, with everything. Go ahead, hug your knees into your chest. Rock your way up to a seat. Because I forgot it, we're gonna take a wide-legged forward fold, because we're meant to take the leg out to the side. Padangusthasana B. We'll just take legs wide instead. So you can sit up on a blanket if you need to. You'll know you need to if you feel like you're gonna fall back into your lower back. So you wanna feel like the pubic bone has the opportunity to kind of drop towards the floor. And then you can stay upright. Depending on what's talking to you and how loud, you might have the opportunity to start to move forward a little bit. But we'll just be here and breathe for a few. And then roll your way up to a seat. If you're folded forward, grab the blanket. So fold it in half from the storage fold. We're just going to do a back bolster. So you're going to roll that up. You could use a block for this. You could use a foam roller. I'm going to use a blanket. And we're just going to do one spot today, just because of time. So we'll put it right in the upper back, maybe a block behind the head. And we're doing the same thing that we did with the neck roll. So let your attention settle into the back side of the body. And then imagine each vertebra could just drop right down onto the blanket so that your spine is held. And then what needs attention? Sometimes those areas are just saying like, hey, I don't usually go here. Can your hips and head be heavy? And then you'll interlace your hands and reach up towards the ceiling. And then any amount, you get arms up alongside the ears. Still heavy with the hips. Roll over the blanket. You can pull it down under your hips. And then use one more squeeze. And then you'll take the blanket out. Roll over to either side, and let's come on up to standing in front of the mat. Feeling your feet nice and grounded, feet underneath the hip bones. Let's take a big breath in. Hold at the top with your fists, tapping out the rib cage. As you exhale, switch to palms. And then on the exhale retention, hold your breath. Use your fingertips. Inhale, shake it out. Exhale. And we'll do that again. Inhale, fill up. Hold. Exhale. And then exhale, hold. Shake it out. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swing them down and back. Again, inhale. Inhale. This time interlace. Roll the shoulders back. Bend the knees, exhale, belly to thighs, fold forward. Straighten the legs as much as you, or as long as you can. Feet pushing the floor away, legs growing longer, even if your knees stay very bent. You can take your fists a little bit to the left, roll that right shoulder open. And then do the other side. And we'll release the hands down. Step back to plank. Feel your breath. Take an inhale, and then exhale, lower all the way down. Reach your arms straight forward, palms facing each other. Inhale, lifts everything up. Good, inhale. Exhale, swing your arms down by your sides. Keep everything lifted. Inner thighs spiraling inward, just like when we were in that little hip stretch in the beginning. So that will slide the inner thighs up. And then hands under the shoulders and just tip your whole thing backwards until your feet touch down. Once your feet touch, start to really pull the mat underneath you to slide the heart forward. Take one more breath in, and then exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to be doing some lunging flow here. So if you want to put a blanket on the middle of your mat for your knee, please feel free to do that. I'm just going to kind of roll through some lunging sun salutations. So from downward facing dog, inhale, take the right leg back and up, keeping the hips square. Exhale, step it forward, release the back knee. Inhale, arms up. I like to keep my back toes tucked for these. Exhale, the hands come down, step into your forward fold. Stand up, inhale. Hands to heart, exhale. Feeling the feet on the ground. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, long spine. And then right foot, the same foot that stepped forward, steps back. Release the knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, plank to lower. Back bend, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, step forward. Release the back knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, step into your forward fold. Stand up, inhale. Hands to heart, exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Long spine, inhale. Left foot steps back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, plank to lower. Back bend, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step forward. Low lunge, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Stand up, inhale. Hands to heart, exhale. Reach up, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Long spine, inhale, reach your heart forward. Right foot steps back, exhale. Low lunge, inhale. Plank to lower, exhale. You can lower onto your belly, you can lower halfway down. Back bend as you inhale, so cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, exhale. Left leg lifts up, inhale. Step forward, exhale. Low lunge, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Stand up, inhale. Feel your feet on the ground as you go. Hands to heart, exhale. Reach up, inhale. Still connected to the feet. Could fold down, exhale. Lengthen your heart forward, pubic bone and tailbone reach back, inhale. Left foot steps back, exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, plank to lower. Back bend, inhale, use your full breath. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, reach your right leg up. Step it forward, exhale. Release the back knee down. Low lunge, inhale. We're gonna hold here, exhale. Maybe you bend the right knee more. Maybe you bend the left knee and reach back for the foot. You can use a strap for this too. So if you can't reach the foot, go ahead, feel free to strap it up. But we're gonna hold that foot, maybe. The more forward you come, the less you'll be on that back kneecap. You'll be more on the bottom of the thigh, which may be a little easier. Gaze at one spot. And then there's probably a lot of areas that are calling for your attention. So pick the loudest. And you're just going to infuse all of your attention into that spot. Your breath is part of the conversation. And then we'll release the back foot. You're going to turn your right foot to the right. And then you're going to come to the outer edge of your left leg. Let that left hip sink down. You can let your left ribs sink down. Your left leg is reaching down the length of your mat, and the foot is the outer foot is also pressing into the floor a little bit. And then from there, we're going to walk the hands to the left. Turn the right toes to the left. Left leg will stay straight, right knee will stay bent, and we'll sink the hips back. So we're just going to reach the hips back. Getting into that left groin. It might be enough to stay right here. So right knee bent, left leg straight. You might come onto the left heel and lift the right heel. You can take your right arm to the inside edge of your right thigh and use that arm to gently nudge the knee open. Someone requested hips, but this was all already planned. Take another breath in. We're going to walk over to the right. Step back into plank. Good, take another breath in. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Back bend as you inhale. And downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale the left leg back and up. Exhale, step it forward. Find your lunge, release that back knee. Good. So you could stay here, just bending the front knee more maybe. If it's possible, reach back for your right foot. Gaze at one spot. These thigh muscles are big. And they're stubborn. And so it takes a little bit of a longer conversation. So we hold here. And then we'll release the foot. Turn the left toes left. You're gonna roll to the outside edge of your right leg. You can let your right ribs sink down. Your left foot is solid on the ground. Your right leg is reaching forward. That outer right foot is pressing down. And then we'll walk to the right, coming onto the feet. The right leg will stay straight, the left knee will stay bent, and the hips will reach back. So you're getting into that inner line of the right leg. You can stay with feet totally grounded. You can come onto the right heel and lift the left heel. So this will go in a little deeper. What I like to do here is just use my left arm and just kind of gently nudge the left thigh open, keeping the right foot right where it is, glued down so that whole inseam of both legs gets a little longer. And then you'll walk back to the left. Step back into your plank. Lower all the way down. Bring your forehead to the mat. You're going to reach back and release the hands at the lower back. Roll the chest open. Lift up into your locust pose. Think about your fists pulling you back to help lift your chest up. Think about the rolled up blanket in the middle of your back, and you're trying to kind of simultaneously pull your upper spine forward away from it and curl back around it. Good, are you breathing? And then release down. And the knees, windshield wiper the feet from side to side. And test your range of motion with this. So can the feet come all the way to the floor in either direction? Can your feet stay in line with your knees as you go? So on the same plane. They're not moving closer to the floor. And then release the legs down. Inhale into your back bend. Cobra. Baby cobra. Maybe upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog. Walk the feet up to the hands. You're gonna hold opposite elbow. Feel the feet actively pushing the floor away. See if you can rock the hips forward so they're directly over your feet. Soften the belly. Yeah, so your hips can be over your feet with your knees bent. Just notice if you have all your weight in your heels. See if you can spread that out. And then one vertebra at a time, go ahead and rock your way, or roll your way rather, up to standing. Find mountain pose. Solid feet, steady gaze, get that nice solid foundation. And we're gonna just push the floor away with the feet. Feel the crown of the head rise up. Shifting the weight into your left foot, bend the right knee. You're gonna reach back and hold the ankle. Hold the foot, the ankle, or the lower leg. And then bring your right thigh bone down next to your left thigh bone. Inhale, take your left arm up. And all we're gonna do is press the right knee back to start to tip us forward a little bit. And then rather than keeping a long straight line from the knee up to the head, you'll think about the blanket roll in your back and try to curl around it. And then can the foot start to press up towards the ceiling? Good. Good, you guys, are you breathing? Left foot is pushing the floor away. Let's take one more breath in. And then stand on both feet. Bring your hands to your heart. Let your attention drop down into the soles of the feet. And we'll do the other side. You're gonna bend the left knee, reach for the foot, the outer ankle, the shin, and then thigh bones next to each other, right arm up. Left knee reaches back to start to tip you forward. And then you're gonna curl your back around that blanket roll. And the foot starts its little journey up towards the ceiling. And you're breathing. Could you imagine your pubic bone reaching back and up to help lift that leg? Yes, nice. All right, and then release. Shake it all out if you need to. We'll do it again. So you can do the same thing we just did. So holding the outer foot, ankle, shin, or you can take your arm back, thumb up like you're hitchhiking, and hold the inside. So you decide what feels more comfortable. If this doesn't feel safe on the shoulder, then you're not going to do it. So you hold your foot, ankle, shin, gaze at one spot, left arm up, and the knee presses back to tip you forward. Curl the spine up to lift your chest. And the foot starts a little journey up towards the ceiling. Good, you guys, you breathing? Good, and then release. Shake it out. And do the other side. Steady your gaze. Hold your leg. Same thing. You guys look like statues. Take another breath in, and then feet together. Shake it out. Yeah, shake it out. Feel like you can feel all your muscles kind of flopping around on your bones. Yeah, and then shake it. You can shake it into a forward fold. Shake the head yes, shake the head no. Step back to plank. Lower all the way down onto your belly. You're gonna bend your knees. Reach back for your feet. If you can't get both feet, you can do one at a time. You can also roll up a blanket and use it as like a little kickstand for your hips, which might make it a little easier. So you'll put it like right at the front hip bones. And then same thing here. Think about your knees reaching back and up. Similar to what we did in our dancer. The spine curls up to wrap around the blanket roll. And then your feet begin the journey back and up. Good. Can you imagine the pubic bone reaching back and up? Go ahead and release. And windshield wiper the feet from side to side. Let's do another. So coming up for 5 breaths. You did one foot the first time, you'll do the other foot this time. Shin bones or the feet press back to help lift your chest up. After 5 breaths, you come on down. Windshield wiper the feet. You can rock the hips from side to side. We're gonna do one more. Third one's always the best one. Unless you do 5, then the 5th one's the best one. Just gets better as we go. We're just gonna do 3 though. So bend your knees. Choose your grip. You could hold the inside of the feet too. You can hold the outside, whatever you prefer. Knees back and up. Chest curls around the blanket. Shins back to help lift your chest. Five breaths. And then you come on down. And this time when you come down, go ahead and press your way into child's pose. Make your way onto your back. You might reset up that roll for your neck. Constructive rest with the legs. Cross the right ankle over the left knee. And we'll hug that left leg in. We'll release the left foot down. Keep your legs crossed and we'll just windshield wiper the whole situation from side to side. So the right knee comes closer to the floor and then the right foot. And then we'll do the other side. So left ankle over right thigh. And then the right foot comes down and we'll windshield wiper from side to side. Both legs can come up and just shake it out. Shake it so much that the contents of your belly swishes around. I could actually just hear my coffee moving around in there. And then we'll take Shavasana. Legs out. You could keep the neck support if you'd like. If you spend a lot of time looking down at your phone this week or kind of really forward tuned into the TV or the computer or whatever's in front of you, that neck has spent a lot of time just trying to hold your head on your body. So give it a rest. And then let your attention settle into the backside of the body, checking out your whole imprint on the floor. And we'll take a little journey from the feet to the head. And I want you to imagine, as we put our attention into one body part, that you could actually let that body part sink even deeper into the floor. So feet, toes, arches, heels. Ankles. Lower legs. Knees. Thighs. Butt and hips. Whole pelvis. Lower belly, lower back. upper belly, mid back. Chest, upper back, and your whole rib cage. Fingers, hands, palms. Wrists. Forearms. Elbows. Upper arms. Armpits. Shoulders. Throat and neck. Forehead. Eyebrows. Temples. Eyeballs. Nose and nostrils. Maybe even sinuses. Cheeks. Ears. Jaw. Tongue. Brain. Skull. And then check in with yourself again. You're revisiting some of the areas that were talking to you the loudest. Often those areas are outer lines of the body, the hips, these areas that held us together when we lost our center. So maybe just another thank you. You take a big stretch, breath in through the nose, let it out through your mouth. Notice which nostril is more open and roll yourself over to that side. You can let your head rest on your bottom arm. And then press up to a seat. Bring the palms together, stack your hands at your chest, and close out by chanting the sound Om one time. Om. Nice work, you guys. Thank you so much. So all of the donations this month are going to an organization called Yoga Foster, bringing yoga and mindfulness into public schools. So thank you so much. And I have been